Hello and welcome to the ISJ Leaders in Security podcast. My name is James Thorpe and I'm the editor of International Security Journal. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Kate Clark and Olof Sandberg from Gunnebo Safe Storage, a globally recognised provider on a mission to protect valuable items from burglary, fire and explosion. Kate heads up innovation and R&D and global locking solutions and is an experienced management professional with extensive European and global market experience, developing products and new business across a spectrum of channels and geographies. She has over 20 years of security industry experience, working in many roles at Assa Abloy during her 15-year tenure and joined the GSS management team almost 2 years ago. Olof is the global product manager for locking solutions at Gunnebo Safe Storage. With over a decade of experience in the security industry, Olof has honed his expertise in both B2B and B2C product development across various sectors, managing top global solutions. His unique specialisation lies in enhancing customer value through innovative connectivity solutions. Before joining Gunnebo, Olof held key roles in project and product management at Assa Abloy, where he played a pivotal role in advancing security technologies. Kate, Olof, thank you for joining me today. How are you both?
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
I'm good as well. Glad to be here, James.
Thank you, and it's great to be speaking with you today. Kate, I know we chatted a little bit at the start about kind of you giving us a bit of an insight into our listeners about the background behind Gunnebo Safe Storage and kind of your position in the market. So could you just give us a bit of a brief overview about what you do and how you are innovating this part of the industry, please?
Okay, so Gunnebo Safe Storage is part of Gunnebo Group. We're a long-standing group in terms of security solutions, but one that's somewhat hidden, I would say. We're leaders kind of in the physical security space. So we pride ourselves on keeping valuables and precious metals, and amongst other things, safe and secure. We do that really by physical security solutions. So think of a vault or a big safety deposit locker in a bank. That's very much a kind of core to what we do. But we also work in the ATM space, making sure that cash around the world is well secured. We've been here a long time. We're sort of the last line of defence when it comes to security. We're the bit that the bad guys really don't like because we're hard to get into. We've been doing this a long time. We boast some of the best brands, including Chubb, in our space. And really what we're trying to do now is innovate that as we see that our customers are changing in terms of how they want to interact with our products. Also, attack tools get harder and harder. You only have to go to a DIY shop and see the plethora of tools that people try to attack our products with. And so that's obviously something that we pride ourselves on, both in terms of burglary and fire, but more recently actually explosive as well, where a lot of people try to sort of break into our units with that as well.
Fantastic.
So that's us, I think, in a nutshell.
That's good to hear. And one part obviously we want to talk about in this discussion is a little bit about focusing on your portfolio. Obviously, you have extensive experience in the industry as a team. You've got the whole wider group has a massive global presence with a lot of different markets and different locations. But you guys specifically, I want to hone in a little bit about your portfolio and kind of the evolution of this as well, which I know Olof will touch on in a bit. But can you just tell us a little bit about what led, to the decision to expand your portfolio to include the locking aspect specifically? I think this is something which is really important. I think it will resonate with a lot of people listening. Can you just give us a bit of insight into that, please, Kate?
Yeah, so it's a natural evolution, really. So behind every vault and every safe, there is a lock, essentially, that is kind of the brain of that system. So together with partners over the years, we've been working extensively with locking solutions. But as a group now, we anticipate there is a need change that we're seeing. And so we've made a decision last year to really sort of extend our portfolio to include a locking provider, Technocigarettes, which is a company that's been long-standing for 40 years, running out of Italy. And really with that acquisition, we're moving, I think, in a firmer space into sort of owning part of the core offer to our customers, whilst of course giving them choice. At the end of the day, the customer will choose their lock independent of us. But I think we have some very good ideas, and we're also looking to invest significantly with sort of moving that sort of area on somewhat as well. So that's what we're busy doing.
Fantastic. Olof, I want to come to you on a separate point as well. Obviously, again, one of the points we touched on before we started this discussion was focusing on, your new launch, the launch of Origo. Obviously, this is a significant milestone for you guys as a team. Can you just tell us a little bit about what this solution is and why it is such a pivotal development? I'm really interested and fascinated to find out a little bit more.
Yeah, so the lock itself is a great milestone for Gunnebo as a company. It's the first time in a long time we are actually launching a high security lock under the brand of Gunnebo. And the lock itself is certified against the latest European standards, which our customers demand and needs in this space.
Yeah,
it's a modular, scalable, and extendable with all the features that our customers would expect in high security locking. So this is what the product is itself and why it's so important for us to have this in the European market. As a product as well, it's the best quality and the best technology available for traditional high security locks. And with every market, the product needs a facelift. It needs to be updated, and this is the fresh update from Gunnebo with all the features that our customers expect and needs, and it's a result we're very proud of. And as Kate mentioned, we have partnerships. This has been developed in a strategic partnership, and together we have found the best solution for our customers in the sector. And it really shows that together with the purchase of Tecnosecurity, together with Origo, we do as Gunnebo, we do have the competence and knowledge to do great locks, both security-wise and also I want to add looks-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think in a lot of sectors, the aesthetic part is also really pivotal as well. It is really important, and part of what we also find out a little bit about in this discussion on the back of Origo, and thank you for that, Olof, is also you mentioned your partnerships there. I just want to go on a side note quickly. Can either of you just tell me a little bit about how important that partnership aspect is a little bit to your mission as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think, coming from this space for a long time, you need to be interoperable with numbers of different partners, I think, in any supply chain. You're not going to be the master of every single technology and own every single bolt. That's just not realistic. So what we do is we work with a number of strategic partners who are experts in a field for us then to innovate and develop products together, really. And I think Origo is a prime example of that. And we'll continue to do that, of course. We want to do more ourselves, but I think technology and standards particularly are moving at such a pace now. We want to be seen as a collaborator in the industry, working to get good solutions out on a timely manner and up to the increasing standards that we get, which makes it quite fun because things change. So.
Absolutely. I mean, the rate of change we're witnessing in the industry in multiple different areas is phenomenal, really. And I think actually, you touched on collaboration there, but you also mentioned that, the importance of just being a bit open and transparent in general. I think when it comes to things like standards and also, what investors may want or what, new purchasers may want, it's really important to have that transparency with the market. I think it's really key. And it's something you guys are obviously excelling in that space. So that's fantastic to hear. One thing I want to focus on as well is, sustainability is a big area which relates to that in terms of, market demands and obviously also the requirements of, being an ethical and positive business in this day and age. And is that something you'd be able to kind of give us a bit of an insight into, balancing the sustainability element, but obviously the high security aspect as well?
Yeah, and it's a challenge. So a core part of our strategy is to do things in the most sustainable way, both in the ways that we work with our suppliers and obviously our customers, but also in production. So we're very proud to have just received an EcoVadis bronze medal just two months ago, and that's really testament to the good work that we're doing. I'm going to be frank, making products out of concrete and steel is 100% more difficult than, because by nature they are offending in terms of those materials. So how do you get the balance of getting strong performance to stop the person getting into the vault, as well as actually making things in the most sustainable way? There is a lot of work to do here as an industry, and we are now investing significantly in coming up with innovative ways to really make our products, but also source the materials for our products, because they are highly polluting. And obviously with CSRD coming into play in the next 12 months, which we as a European player call that we're a factor in that new regulation, we've got to make huge steps to kind of change that. But it's difficult because, our products are built to last. You will go into some banks and financial institutions and you will find a product from us that's still doing its job and still holding all these years later. So it is an ongoing challenge, but we are behind it. We feel very strongly it's the right thing for the planet as well. We have to do our part as an industry leader in this space, but not easy, I can say. So I miss the days of when all I had to worry about was smaller things and electronics. It was a little bit easier, but we're up for the challenge, I would say, as a group.
Well, that's good to hear, and being up for the challenge is exactly what you need to be in this industry, as we all know. There can't be anything less. But that's fantastic to hear. And you touched on the electronics there, but I want to just jump to kind of looking at connectivity in products as well. How are you kind of incorporating that element, and can you just highlight some of the benefits that does bring as well?
Yeah, I think connectivity is something that's been going on in many different lock businesses for the past decade or past decades even. As examples, hospitality and home security are spaces that have done this journey for quite some time now and are quite mature. Yeah. And we believe that the technology is ready for high security locks to do this as well. And I think that our customers will really embrace it. And for us, it's getting up to par in the high security space to give the customers what they want and expect, both now and upcoming. So what we really want to do as Gunnebo is to lead in getting the technology there. With that said, also, my personal opinion is that connectivity by itself doesn't give much value. It doesn't give the customer anything, basically. As an example, a smart light bulb that requires an app to turn it on and off is not innovation. It's just a hassle. But if you pair a smart light bulb with the location of where you are, you can have a smart light that turn off, on and off and at sunset. So you cross-pollinate connectivity with something else and you have something smart. So from my end, connectivity should really enable the customer value that is not possible without connectivity, and in a way that doesn't focus on the connectivity itself, but on the benefit it brings. And with that value, it will always depend on the product. Which is why we're putting a lot of thought on seamless user interactions during product development. And as an example of this, it's with connectivity, it's really so much easier to update the products without cables or clunky computers. And easy updates will always enable us to keep innovating even after launch in a different way. So our roadmap is quite exciting right now.
Yeah, I think it's to add to that, I think, connectivity, we both come from a background of that in a previous life. We've seen it both in hospitality and in home security, and you think about sort of how your house has changed significantly in the last 10 years, and it didn't come from some of the usual suspects. It was actually really kind of Google and Apple that really sort of made the ecosystem play, and then everybody jumped in as manufacturers. And let's be honest, I don't know what I'd do without my Sonos. Now we're seeing now, this is a big change that's actually happening in the financial institutions, which we are predominantly a player within. That the way people want to interact with products is very different. Why should you have such an experience at home, and then when you go to work and you deal with this product, it looks like, and it was designed some time ago, you want to have the same interoperability and interaction there. So we're seeing in places, certainly in Asia, where we're very, a strong player, that people really are asking for different solutions. We're also expanding into sort of jewelry, which is obviously a big growing category. And in those, instances, they want to have beautiful products that, talk to different things and work in different ways. So we're beginning to see there's quite a change in our small part of the industry that sort of echoes the kind of big mega changes that I think we've seen in sort of building services and access control companies have seen over the last sort of 10 years or so.
That's really That's really interesting to hear.
Yeah, and one more thing is that we do know that our customers expect the best customer value and best customer experience, just like Kate said.
Yeah.
But we can't forget that we are a high security company, and security comes first, and that will always needs to be embedded in whatever technology we use. So we're putting a lot of effort into keeping the complete solution as secure as possible and up to par with everyone's expectations.
That's really great to hear. I think one of the things which really hit home to me then when you were both talking was the idea of value as well. I think people forget that, I think where we're in a world now where we're so accustomed to interacting with technology, you think when kind of more novel technologies did start coming out, even a decade or so ago, when things like smart light bulbs or whatever those things may be, a lot of things were bought for the kind of gimmick reason. And I think now people are actually, I think generally as a culture, most people are aware that they actually want technology to not be a hassle for them. They want it to create seamless experiences, but they want to get the long-term value out of it. There's nothing worse than buying a new phone and then you have to replace it in 6 months' time because it's not being updated or the hardware's poor, whatever it may be. But it's interesting to hear that from your corner of the industry and the value you try to drive through that. And that ties me quite well into actually looking at, some of the innovative approaches you do take as a business. Is there anything on the horizon you're kind of looking to explore, or anything in the near future we can expect from you in the market?
Yeah, I mean, we're bubbling lots of things, as you would expect, which is why we're talking to you. But certainly in lots of areas, we're looking to kind of expand that connectivity play. So we've invested significantly in platform IQ, and we're looking now to connect that to a lot of our services and solutions. Coming soon, we'll be going live with a very exciting proposition in the US, where really we're going to step change something called drive ups, which is a very alien concept to us here in Europe, where people don't leave their car. They want an interaction with a bank sitting from their car. And so there's lots of things we're looking to do there to improve that experience, both for the bank, but also for the customer interacting with that. In other geographies, we're also looking to connect more of our services as well. Really, the conduit a lot of the time is the lock, because that's the kind of logic of where we can do that. So we do have an upcoming product coming out, I would say any day soon, in Asia, which is kind of a first look of really taking that connectivity to a slightly different level, I think, in terms of our industry. I think we've got many more things we can do, but we have to also respect we're very regulated as an industry. We have to, live up to high standards as well. So we sort of have to get the balance of sort of pushing the boundary, but sitting within a firmly, the construct that we find ourselves. So we are looking to kind of, try and push standards along a bit, because I think there are different ways we can solve problems nowadays that we sort of have a part to play as a manufacturer in our space to do.
That's great to hear. And Olof, from a product perspective, is there anything any technical trends or anything like that you're thinking about on the horizon? We'll touch on AI in a second, but is there anything on your radar you're excited for or planning to do?
No, I wouldn't say any from a technology point of view, but more from a logic and what we think of when we do product development. And we went through Origo before, and that's one product, but it's also a very modular product that can be installed at many different customers that has different configurations. So I want to push on the modularity that we always try to keep in mind. And as an example, we use the same lock hardware, but we connect it in a different way to fit the different customers' needs. And that goes all the way from the firmware that we try to put in a modular puzzle pieces, so to say, to fit everything, to be able to do late configurations, to fit the software as well as the hardware configuration for the specific customers. And also all the way up to our web platform, the IQ platform that Kate mentioned, that we have a modular space in that platform as well, to be able to give the customers exactly what they need and not more and not less. So modularity is one of the key features that I would like to push, that we're thinking of all the time.
Fantastic. That's great to hear, and thank you for that. Obviously, I did say as well, I'd jump into mentioning AI and where you thought, where you see it fitting in the safe storage and security solution space. Is that something you can just give our listeners a little bit of an insight into quickly as well?
Yeah, I mean, just today we had our Upskills, which is a program where we have young people join us for a year, and they run a project for a year, and then they choose to stay, or we choose to keep them. And we had one just about AI just this morning. In fact, wow. I mean, it's everywhere, isn't it? And everybody has a view, and you have to galvanise and use it in the best way possible. Right now, our focus is very much more about how can we improve our customer experience. Okay. So how can we get better solutions to our technicians quicker, so that we can react and solve problems really for our customers in a better way than you and I spending hours trailing through customer concerns. So we, like many companies, are looking to sort of use it in a sort of practical way to speed up and solve problems. But I think sort of a word of caution, it's only as good as the people therefore using it too. And so I think there's a lot of unknown still, but we're working with the usual suspects to try and do a lot of kind of experiments at this time to see what the best use of it is for us.
That's great to hear. No, Olof, sorry, I could see you were desperate to jump in there at the start, so feel free to give us a piece.
He wanted to say something too.
Of course. AI is really, really cool. And I agree with everything Kate said. And I mean, not only in safe storage and security solutions, but AI is nowadays, I don't think it's the cool new thing. It's with us whether you like it or not. We use it in everything we do, from debugging code to summarizing text on complex topics, or automatic notes taken in Teams meetings. But as Kate also mentioned, it's all about the context of what AI can give us. If we let it loose a bit without restrictions, I think it might be a bit dangerous. So we try to use it where it fits. And what Kate said there with letting customer technicians be close to AI and getting AI tools to both improve their work and also lower the thresholds of getting into the product knowledge. So it doesn't require 5-10 years to be an expert anymore, but to give insights and tips on where they should look, what and where they should look. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it comes back to the value aspect again, really, doesn't it? In that if you're using it and you're generating value out of something like AI, or you're using it to create additional value, then it does have its use. But I think what you said at the start as well, Kate, about exercising the caution as well is an important aspect as well. I think at the end of the day, in such a technology-driven day and age, we do need to be careful. But I think using it to innovate where appropriate is an amazing and exciting stage to be set in, really. So it's going to be great to see the future. I want to thank both of you for joining me in the discussion today. I hope it's been valuable for you. It's been great to find out a little bit more about Gunnebo Safe Storage, and also, give you the spotlight to tell our listeners about what you do and how you're innovating the market. So thanks for joining me.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, James.
Perfect. Thank you.